Baby Dimma slept peacefully, unaware of the sorrow surrounding her. Chiamaka looked at her mother, Mama Ngozi, with tears in her eyes. "Mama, please take care of my daughter," she whispered. Mama Ngozi shook her head, crying, "Don't talk like that. You will live." But Chiamaka knew her time was short. She turned to her husband, Dimma Nwosu, who was already broken with fear. "Emeka, promise me you will care for our children." Emeka fell beside her, crying. "Please don't leave me." Chiamaka looked at her baby one last time. "My little Dimma, I love you." Those were her final words. That night, Dimma lost her mother before she even knew her face. Life became hard for Emeka. He worked day and night to feed his children, while Mama Ngozi became both grandmother and mother to Dimma. But the little girl was often sick. Fever, cough, malaria, one sickness after another. Many nights, Mama Ngozi carried her on her back, praying with tears. "God, please don't take this child too." One night, Dimma's fever became so serious that Emeka ran through the rain and mud, carrying her to a faraway clinic. After hours of fear, the nurse told them she would live. Emeka sat down and wept like a child. He had almost lost the only daughter Chiamaka left behind. Years passed, and Dimma grew into a bright little girl. She loved singing, helping her grandmother, and smiling at everyone. But when she was 4 years old, tragedy came again. One afternoon, she saw people gathered outside their house, crying. A vehicle arrived, and inside was her father, covered with a white cloth. "Daddy is sleeping?" she asked innocently. Mama Ngozi hugged her and cried, "Your father is gone." "Gone where?" Dimma asked. No one could answer. That day, Dimma became an orphan. As she grew older, people in the village pitied her. Some loved her, but many believed her future had already ended. One day, after church, Dimma overheard two women talking. "Dimma is a good girl," one said. "Yes," the other replied, "but without parents, how will she become anything?" Those words wounded her deeply. That evening, she asked Mama Ngozi, "Can poor people become successful?" Mama Ngozi held her hand. "My child, never allow anyone to tell you your life is finished. You may not have parents or money, but if you have God, discipline, and determination, your story can change." Dimma hugged her grandmother and promised not to disappoint her. Soon, hope came. Auntie Amarachi Eze, Chiamaka's younger sister, arrived from Port Harcourt and offered to take Dimma with her. She said her husband, Uncle Chinedu Eze, would pay Dimma's school fees and help her continue her education. Dimma was overjoyed. Port Harcourt felt like a dream. The city amazed her with its busy roads, tall buildings, bright lights, and supermarkets. At her aunt's house, she became close to little precious Eze, Amarachi's first daughter. Dimma fed her, bathed her, played with her, and loved her like a sister. Uncle Chinedu kept his promise at first. Dimma was enrolled in St. Mary's Commercial Secondary School. She studied hard, impressed her teachers, and began to believe her future was finally opening. But one evening, Uncle Chinedu returned home looking troubled. He had lost his job. Soon, money became scarce. Bills piled up, food reduced, and school fees became a problem. One day, Auntie Amarachi called Dimma. "Dimma, you may have to return to the village," she said sadly. Dimma froze. "What about my education? We can no longer afford it." Dimma cried and begged. "Auntie, please. I will do all the housework. I will help with Precious. Just let me stay in school." But nothing changed. She returned to the village with her few clothes, books, and broken dreams. Mama Ngozi welcomed her warmly, but she saw the sadness in Dimma's eyes. That night, Dimma cried bitterly. "Why is life so hard for me? Every time something good comes, it disappears." Mama Ngozi wiped her tears. "Sometimes God allows us to pass through difficult roads, but difficult roads do not always lead to difficult endings." Dimma wanted to believe, but her heart was tired. Months later, Auntie Amarachi returned again, this time pregnant with her second child. She and Uncle Chinedu said they were moving to Aba and wanted to take Dimma with them again. Mama Ngozi was afraid. "Do not take this child if you will break her heart again." Amarachi promised before God that Dimma would return to school. Dimma followed them with fresh hope. But in Aba, things were different. The house was small, and the work was endless. Every morning, Dimma swept, washed plates, fetched water, cooked, bathed Precious, and washed clothes. Weeks passed, then months. No one mentioned school. Whenever students passed the house in uniform, Dimma watched from the window and cried quietly. When she finally asked her aunt, Amarachi only said, "Soon." But soon never came. After Amarachi gave birth to Grace Eze, Dimma's work became heavier. She cared for Precious and baby Grace, sometimes staying awake all night while the baby cried. Her body became weak, but she never complained. Back in the village, Mama Ngozi became restless. She had not heard clear news about Dimma's schooling, so she traveled to Aba. When Dimma opened the door and saw her, she ran into her arms and broke down. Mama Ngozi looked around and understood everything. No uniform, no books, no school bag, only tired eyes and rough hands. Amarachi, she said angrily, where is Dimma's school uniform? Amarachi could not answer. Mama Ngozi cried. You took this child's dream and turned her into a house help. She ordered Dimma to pack her things. Precious cried and begged Dimma not to leave, but Mama Ngozi took her granddaughter home. On the way back, Dimma whispered, Mama, I am tired. I don't know if I can hope again. Mama Ngozi squeezed her hand. Rest, my child, but do not bury your dream. When they reached the village, people whispered again. She is back? So the city people failed her? This time, Dimma did not cry. She tied a wrapper around her waist and picked up a hoe. Mama Ngozi asked, where are you going? To look for work, Dimma replied. If nobody will send me to school, I will send myself. From that day, Dimma worked like a grown woman. Before sunrise, she went to farms, she weeded, planted cassava, harvested yams, fetched water, carried firewood, and helped elderly villagers. Sometimes she was paid little money, sometimes she received food, sometimes she got nothing. Still, she remained grateful. Mrs. Ebre Okeke, a kind widow in the village, gave Dimma work often. One day, after watching the young girl work under the hot sun without complaint, she asked, why are you pushing yourself this hard? Dimma answered, I want to go back to school. Mrs. Ebre's eyes filled with tears. That is a good dream, Dimma smiled. It is a dream worth suffering for. Pastor Daniel Nkem also encouraged her. One Sunday he told her, when God finishes with your story, people will know it was him. Those words stayed with Dimma. But another sorrow came. Her brother Ike Nwosu, who had been sick for years, became worse. Dimma and Mama Ngozi visited him. He was thin and weak, but he smiled when he saw her. My little sister, he said softly, promise me you will never give up. Dimma cried. Why are you talking like this? Just promise me. I promise. 3 days later, Ike died. Dimma's scream filled the compound. She had lost her mother, her father, and now her beloved brother. At the burial, she cried as if her heart would tear apart. Obi, her eldest brother, held her and repeated Ike's words. Don't give up. He believed in you. That night, Dimma sat under a tree and spoke to God through tears. Why do I keep losing people? No answer came, but she remembered Ike's words. Slowly, she stood and wiped her face. I will not quit. I will finish school. I will become somebody. I will make my family proud. 6 months later, during Christmas, destiny called her name. Dimma was returning from farm work, carrying a basket on her head, when she greeted a group of wealthy men under a mango tree. Among them was Chief Edwin Okafor, a respected and wealthy man from the community. Young lady, come back, he called. Dimma obeyed. Are you Emeka Nwosu's daughter? Yes, sir. And Chiamaka's daughter? Yes, sir. He looked at her basket. Why are you working on people's farms? For survival, sir. Have you finished secondary school? Yes, sir. What result did you get? 9 credits, sir. Chief Edwin was surprised. Bring your result to my house tomorrow. The next morning, Dimma wore her neatest dress and carried her BUE-EC result in a brown envelope. Chief Edwin studied it carefully, then smiled. I have been watching you, he said. You are respectful, hardworking, disciplined, and humble. Character is more valuable than money. Dimma listened with tears in her eyes. Then he said the words that changed her life. I will sponsor your university education. Dimma fell to her knees, crying. Thank you, sir. Chief Edwin helped her up. Do not thank me. Thank God. When Dimma told Mama Ngozi, the old woman lifted her hands and cried, Thank you, Jesus! The entire village soon heard the news. Some celebrated, some were shocked, some remembered the same orphan girl they once pitied. Dimma gained admission into Eastern Crown University to study business administration. Before she left, Chief Edwin gave her money and advice. Protect your good name, he said. Money can be lost, but a good name is priceless. Dimma promised. University life was not easy. Many students came from rich homes, wore expensive clothes, and carried costly phones. Dimma sometimes felt small, but she stayed focused. She made a good friend named Sarah, studied hard, attended fellowship, and avoided trouble. Some students mocked her for always carrying her Bible and refusing to join wild parties, but Dimma ignored them. Not every battle needs a reply, she told Sarah. By her third year, many people respected her. Lecturers trusted her, students admired her, and even those who laughed at her secretly knew she was different. During her industrial training in Port Harcourt, she worked in a big company. Her supervisors were pleased with her performance. But trouble came through Mr. Benson Ude, a senior manager. He was married, wealthy, and powerful. At first, he acted friendly. Later, he began offering her money, gifts, a car, and an apartment. Dimma understood his intentions and refused. "My future is too important," she told him. He became angry. "Do you think you are better than others?" "No, sir," she replied calmly. "I respect myself, and I respect your wife." She returned every gift he sent. When her IT ended, the managing director praised her publicly for her integrity and gave her a certificate of excellence. Dimma learned that not every temptation comes through poverty. Some temptations come dressed in wealth, comfort, and easy shortcuts. Back at Eastern Crown University, Dimma prepared for her final examinations. She studied day and night, prayed, and gave her best. When results were released, Sarah dragged her to the notice board. Dimma searched for her name, found it, and froze. She had graduated with distinction. Tears flowed down her face. She remembered every pain, every hunger, every broken promise, every farm, every tear, and every prayer. She knelt on the ground and whispered, "Thank you." On graduation day, Dimma wore her gown with trembling hands. Many students had parents present, but hers were gone. Sarah hugged her. "They are watching," she said. When Dimma's name was called, the hall erupted in applause. She walked to the stage carrying years of pain and victory in every step. After the ceremony, she called Mama Ngozi. "Mama, I graduated." Mama Ngozi began dancing and shouting in the village. "My granddaughter has graduated." The village celebrated. The girl they once pitied had become a graduate. After her national youth service, Dimma searched for work. Rejections came and fear returned, but Mama Ngozi reminded her, "The God who took you through university is still alive." Soon, Golden Crest Holdings offered Dimma a job. She screamed with joy and ran to Mama Ngozi. They cried together again, this time, tears of answered prayer. Dimma worked hard, earned promotions, received bonuses, and saved money quietly. No one knew what she was planning until building materials began arriving at the old Nwosu family compound. Blocks, cement, sand, roofing sheets. People stared. Who was building? Then one morning, Dimma arrived in a beautiful car. Workers greeted her and the village froze. "Is that Dimma?" someone whispered. "The orphan girl?" Yes, the same Dimma who carried firewood. The same girl who worked on farms. The same girl they said had no future. She was building one of the finest houses in the village. When the house was completed, Mama Ngozi cried under the mango tree. "I never thought I would live to see this," she said. Dimma hugged her. "God kept us, Mama." Inside the new house, Dimma cried as she remembered her parents. "Mama Chiamaka, Papa Emeka, I became somebody." Later, Chief Edwin reminded her, "When people help you, do not stop at gratitude. Become the helper someone else is praying for." Dimma took those words seriously. She began paying school fees for orphan children in the village. She supported widows, bought books and uniforms for poor students, and helped families quietly. One Sunday, Pastor Daniel called her before the church. "If you could speak to every young person who has lost hope, what would you tell them?" Dimma looked at the congregation and spoke from her heart. "I would tell them not to give up. I lost my mother, my father, and my brother. I knew poverty, rejection, and disappointment. But I also knew God. Your background cannot stop your future. Where you start is not where you must end. If you keep working hard and trusting God, your story can change." The church rose in applause. Many cried. That evening, Mama Ngozi held Dimma's hand and said, "Thank you for not giving up." Years later, Dimma became one of the most respected women in Umuoma. She sponsored students, helped widows, supported families, and gave hope to people who felt forgotten. Whenever people asked how she succeeded, she always answered, "I trusted God, worked hard, and refused to give up." Her life became proof that poverty is not a life sentence. Pain does not last forever, and a painful beginning does not mean a painful ending. Sometimes the child people pity today becomes the person everyone celebrates tomorrow. Moral lesson. No matter how painful your beginning may be, never give up on your dreams. Your background may explain your story, but it does not have the power to decide your destiny. With faith, good character, hard work, and perseverance, your life can become a testimony that inspires generations.